have a personal request to ask you. It's about the Engabret Tunnel, which is to be shut down after it was hit by a coral surge. I want to go there and survey the area. Even before the coral surge, that place had been all but abandoned. It's an old structure, dating far back into the colonization of Rubicon. There must be items of interest from throughout the planet's history there. As I'm sure you're aware, I have no resources with which to pay you. But I can propose an alternative. If you find any wrecks left by the PCA, you should try accessing them. Both the corporations and the Rubiconians are gathering data on PCA technology. Whatever you collect, I can exchange for credits and transfer the funds to you. I've taken a few liberties. Walter thinks you've gone on a geological survey. Thank you for doing this for me, Raven.
Main system, activating combat mode.
Let's get started, Raven. I've already located several wrecks that we should be able to recover data from. I'll send the marker data. PCA craft data. I'll exchange it for credits and send them to you later. Coral is able to conduct data and can influence digital equipment. The effects of the coral surge must have brought some of the wrecks back online. Let's see what we can find. This data seems valuable too. I'm so glad this is turning into a profitable mission. Let's keep looking, Raven. That's an old bus I see. The Rubiconians used to pilot these. This seems to be a recording of Dolmayan, the Liberation Front's ideological leader. But this appears to be something exceptionally personal. faster generation of AC. This is about the first augmented humans. The same coral technology that created you. But without it, we never would have made contact. Inspecting data. It's a schematic for an SG craft. Another old research institute, AC. According to the timestamp, this was recorded 2 days before the fires of Ibis. This seems to be about the warning signs of the calamity, right before it struck. I'm not picking up any more data stores. If this outing has made you think about Rubicon's past or the nature of Coral, then it was all worth it.
got ourselves a deal, Handler Walter.
Michigan. So, Arquebus met us halfway?
I gave them the heavy warship fleet. In exchange, Balaam's in charge of putting down the beast. They also offered some top Vespers. Guess they don't trust us.
Better than nothing. I'll provide what support I can, too.
Yeah, your mad scientists, RAD or whatever, and that hound of yours.
Michigan. Don't underestimate 621. That hound always delivers.
One new message.
What kept you, 621? You're a famous mercenary now. Time to act like one. This next mission's all or nothing. Make sure you attend the briefing. Listen up, 621. This will be a joint operation led by Balaam and Arquebus. The briefing's about to start. I want you to attend.
First, some background before we go into detail. The intercorporate ceasefire is now in effect, and we will be carrying out coordinated attacks against the PCA. The targets are the enemy-occupied bases, the heavy warship fleet, and the recently activated...
I'll cut to the chase. This is an all-out war against the PCA and theaters across Rubicon. And y'all got the short end of the stick. You're here to take on the worst of our dirty work, hunting the beast of the ice field.
Sure thing, Chief. Tell you what, I'll watch and let you know how badly that goes for us.
Gun 5, you just volunteered yourself for the front line.
Moving on. Let's talk about how we're going to neutralize the iceworm's coral shield. You'll be dealing with a layered barrier made up of a primary and a secondary shield.
Arquebus will provide the means to break the first layer. The state-of-the-art stun needle launcher. Aim for the face, and it will deliver results, I assure you.
What about the second layer?
RAD's cooked up just the thing. A neat little toy we call the Overed Rail Cannon. If we divert the spaceport's standby power to the ORC, it should hit hard enough, assuming we land the shot.
You can leave that to me. I know a thing or two about sharpshooting.
I'll oversee operations on the ground. A ragtag crew like this needs leadership.
We could use some more suppressive fire. I'll send Chatty.
That just leaves the question of who will be taking charge of the stun needle launcher.
I know just the volunteer to go poke that beast with a stick. Gun 13, you get all that? Good! Time for another field trip!
It's not every day you see competing forces working together like this. Now or never, 621. It's time, 621. You ready?
This mission depends upon you, Raven. Let's go. I'll be here to offer support.
Main system activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Michigan will take command.
Commencing operation with combined AC force as per the Balaam Arquebus agreement. Move out, maggots! Time to die!
Act like a professional outfit and you might live.
Who does that creep think he is? I ain't here because I want to be.
We gotta deal with those pesky shields first. Cut 13. Roll out that fancy gizmo that Arquebus paid the big bucks for.
You need to aim for the head. The rest of its body is covered in thick armor.
This is V4 Rusty. Rail cannon is good to go. Don't die before I get a chance to fire, buddy.
Tourist, got a message from the chief for you. Enjoy the show, and don't forget to smile.
Shield loss confirmed. Initializing ORC firing sequence. Connecting EML modules. Opening energy turbines. Output at 80%. Sighting correction A-OK. 90, 95. I won't miss.
Secondary shield down.
Gun 13, the head's open for a direct hit.
That freak actually did it.
Did what? The bare minimum. This is just the first hurdle.
The target's deployed drones, tourist. I'll handle them.
V4, load the next shell.
One step ahead of you, Commander.
Finally, someone with their head skirt on straight. Never thought about switching sides?
Sure is an honor to be praised by the Red Guns hell on 4 legs. But I'll pass.
Primary shield disabled.
Shield loss confirmed. Preparing to fire rail cannon. Energy turbine output at 80%. Output 95%. 100%. Watch out for friendly fire.
Secondary shield down.
It's all yours now, buddy.
Wait, something's wrong. Fall back, 621.
We've underestimated this beast. My AC's compromised. Strong.
The coral. It's out of control.
Looks like things just took a nasty turn. I'll set the ORC to maximum output. We can't afford to lose control of the situation. This next shot'll be my last.
Taking Might be checking out soon, tourist.
Not through yet. Its primary shield is getting stronger.
Stay cool, buddy.
I'm out, tourist. You're on your own now. Withdraw.
AP at 30%.
Primary shield down.
Good work, buddy. All EML modules connected. Energy turbines at full capacity. Output at 80, 90. All emergency valves closed. Disabling limiter. 100, 110, 115. Rail cannon at maximum output. All or nothing.
Target's coral shield has been wiped out.
On you now, buddy. Is it over? Get clear, it's gonna blow! You shitting me? The freelancer really did it. It's finally over. The blast will contaminate the area. Get out of...
Coral voices. Lost again. Raven. There's something I have to tell you. The coral. It's my family. My brothers and sisters. I am but a single wave. Born from the coral tide. A Rubiconian without a body. No one even knew I was there for such a long time. Raven, you're the only one who...
Go get your rest, 621. Things are going to get busy. You did good.
The temporary alliance between the Arquebus and Balaam groups turned the tide of war, devastating the Planetary Closure Administration forces and exiling them from Rubicon. Though it was the Iceworm mission led by Balaam that dealt the decisive blow, Arquebus, through their own engagements with the PCA, augmented their strength with seized weaponry. The balance of power was broken, the scales tipped in Arquebus's favor, and the Rubicon Liberation Front's hopes of fighting an exhausted foe were dashed. With the loss of their common enemy, the rival factions' war for the Coral abruptly reignited. And their bitter conflict burned with renewed intensity.
Augmented Human C4621, entering Standard Mode. 2 new messages.
Doing okay, 621. I'd wanted to let you rest some more, but but the corps are on the move already. With the PCA going, it's back to work, getting to where the coral's gathering. Do you remember the survey you carried out at Xylem? My friend analyzed the data and learned about a massive facility under the central ice field. Watch Point Alpha. Turns out that the ice worm was defending the entrance to that place. It's time to let ourselves in.
Raven, there's something you need to know. That friend Walter mentioned. The comms database has no record of the conversation he just told you about. This isn't about just finding the coral, Raven. He's after something more, and he's using you to do it. Here on Rubicon.
Registration number RB23, call sign, Raven. Your records have been updated. A-rank virtual encounters are now available in the arena. May these encounters further guide your technique.